Hi guys. Okay, forgive the lighting, please. Um, I wanted to actually talk to you guys about a few things that are going on. I know in my last video I was super excited and showing you guys my wheelchair, but lately I've been having terrible, terrible back pain. And my orthopedic doctor tried saying it's because I'm in the wheelchair, and then he said to go to a different person for pain management and a back specialist. So I got the email on that earlier today. I'm going to be calling them tomorrow and trying to get all that stuff worked out. I also have to deal with the allergy doctor later on this coming week. And I also am on the FODMAP diet. I'm still in the elimination phase, so basically I eliminated most things that cause allergies, and I've been slowly testing things as I put them back into my diet and finding out that most things I'm allergic to that are raw, which is kind of scary because I thought that that was the best way to get nutrients, and I'm finding out that my stomach doesn't like it very much. So it's been hard, and I know that it's going to be hard as things go along, but I also know that at some point in time, the doctors are going to listen to me and give me a feeding tube, but I have to wait till I can prove to them that I am sick enough, which all of us who have Ehlers-Danlos syndrome know that even just getting the diagnosis of Ehlers-Danlos syndrome hypermobility type is hard to get nowadays. It's hard to have them understand what's going on. It's hard to have doctors believe you. Thankfully, I have a support system with my husband doing everything that he possibly can. But unfortunately, the insurance company is trying to say that I am too heavy to require the use of a feeding tube. My body weight is not going down under 170 anymore. And every time I have an allergic reaction, it goes up to 180 something, depending on how bad the reaction is. So, dealing with the possibility of finally getting a diagnosis of mast cell activation syndrome, as well as having the Ehlers-Danlos, as well as having the stomach paresis, and thankfully I do not have anything cardiology-wise yet, but, things are going to do what they're going to do, whether it's going to be good, bad, or indifferent. I just have to face every challenge, which sometimes is hard to do, and with my birthday coming up, it's rather hard to even think about all of these different things that are happening to me that are scary, that require me to use Benadryl, or some of them that even require me to give myself a shot of epinephrine and go to the hospital. Unfortunately, the 6 closest hospitals to me do not accept my insurance now, so I cannot get admitted through their ER department any longer for emergency surgeries and such. So it's hard to deal with. It's scary. And basically right now I just feel really beaten down by everything that's going on. And I know that in my videos that I have shown so far, I try and show the difficult parts. The reason I show more difficult parts than I do happy parts is because a lot of times it is just about the negative. I do have a mobile therapist that comes once a week to see me. I have a mobile psychiatrist who comes to see me who doesn't prescribe anything yet as of this time. And on top of that, my dog, who I absolutely love, has passed away. He had to get put down earlier last month. So it has been a roller coaster of pain. and uncomfortableness and tears and feeling like my dog was everything. And it's just been really, really hard to deal with having all of these medical conditions at the same time. Originally I was going to make a video about dealing with the loss of a animal that you were training to be a service animal. Unfortunately, my dog never finished his training to be a service animal because he just liked to smell everything a bit too much. So I didn't think that that would be appropriate to take him into a store with me wanting to smell things and kind of mark his territory when it came to being outside. So I just wasn't going to risk it. I have seen people who have just like gone on the internet and got any old animal certified, and it disturbs me that people can just go on the internet and certify any animal without having them be properly behaving in public, or have them, making noise when a service animal is not to make any noise. A service animal is there to help. So when it was time for my dog to go to the vet to be put down, I made sure that I let him know that he was a good boy and that his job was done. And it hurts a lot. But at some point in time, God willing, I will have another dog who will pass all of the tests. But if not, I have a loving home for the animals that I have. Well, the animals that I'm going to have. It's just rather hard right now. The house kind of feels really empty without a dog in it. And it's not exactly the funnest thing in the world to put your animal down and feel like you're pulling the plug on one of your own children while dealing with all of these medical conditions. So thankfully, my husband was there to make the decisions that needed to be made, because it's not about what I wanted, it's about what was best for the dog. So he got put down. I try and not cry about the things that are happening, because even though they are hard to deal with, I want to make sure that you guys know that even in hard times, you have to try and find joy. And the joy that I find is that in all of this, I have made it, I have survived, and I have gotten past the first 2 weeks since my dog's passing. Also, the joy that I have is that I am able to try and do the things that I want to do. And now that I have a wheelchair that works and is made for me to sit in, even though it's a rental, I really do appreciate what my old rheumatologist was able to do before they changed their policy and decided to no longer take my insurance. So I am getting a new rheumatologist in May, and I have allergy this month, and I have to eventually see a cardiologist again to see what's going on. I'm still having the fainting episodes, but they don't know why. It's hard to deal with the many different facets that are attached to having Ehlers-Danlos syndrome. And a lot of people don't understand that it can be hard and that it can be a losing battle. And there's other times when it can be great. And you can use this type of stuff for your advantage. I try and tell my daughter that she can be anything she wants to be, and that everybody's Ehlers-Danlos syndrome is different. My daughter's grandmother refuses to get her tested. Currently, she has custody, and she doesn't want to have my daughter get tested for Ehlers-Danlos syndrome because she's scared. She doesn't know what exactly it's going to entail or anything, and she automatically thinks the worst. And I really hate when people just automatically think the worst, and I really don't like how some people will just look at me and go, oh, well, you only got diagnosed a year ago and you're just going through all this now. And it's like, no, I was going through this all along and nobody would hear me. But now that I have a diagnosis of Ehlers-Danlos, they kind of look for the zebra type of effect to see what's going on. We still have yet to figure out what type of dwarfism I have, because right now that's not a top concern for us. So the geneticist is not looking into that any longer. I do, however, have a slight facial deformity, which most people can't see. I didn't know anything was different about me until they said something. So it was hard to hear that. And I think I mentioned that in another video about when I saw the geneticist, about how hard it was being told that I was facially disfigured in some way. So everything is just really, really hard right now. And I wanted to make sure that you guys knew what it's like to go through the smaller hard parts. Because in all honesty, there are people out there who have it so much worse than I do. And I'm guilty of having survivor's guilt with a lot of things. And I'm also guilty of being envious of others who are able to get the things that they need to deal with their disability well in advance of what I'm able to get. So there's a lot of times when I have to deal with being jealous or guilty feeling, and there's other times where it's just hard. And the weather affects me a lot, but I can't dwell on it. I have friends of mine who try and tell me, oh, if you believe in God enough, and it's like, I do believe in God, but I also believe that sometimes we're meant to go through the hardship so that when the good things come, they're all the more sweeter. And that's what I'm hanging on to, is that God has a plan. I just don't know it yet, and He hasn't given me like a chapter review test, so I'm good. So it's hard. It really is, and I hope that things will eventually get better. I'm probably going to list this as Ehlers-Danlos. It's hard. Probably because that's like the main word that I've been saying, because it is very, very true, and it is definitely something that, you know, you have to go through when you don't have the right insurance. Unfortunately, since I don't pay for my insurance and I have insurance through the state, I have to follow the rules that they have. So there's a lot for me to deal with. Hopefully things will get better, but I'm definitely going through a lot of the pain and hardships, so I don't know when I will put up another video. I know that I put up videos sporadically, but that's because there's been more sporadic things happening with me. And when life gets you busy, especially when you have kids who are teenagers, life gets busy rather quickly and rather hard at times. So I just cling on to the hope that at some point in time things are going to get better, and I go through this hardship just to make the good times sweeter. So that's basically what I have to tell you to update you guys on what's going on. So hopefully you guys understand what's happening and why it's happening. And at some point in time, I will explain the whole insurance debauchery as well as the other things that are going on when I have any type of news. So the 12th of February, I have an allergy appointment, and I'm hoping and praying that I don't have to get stuck with a million needles. So that's going to be my hope. I'm just hoping I don't have to go through what's known as the caterpillars test, where they roll the needles on my back, because those hurt so bad and it's very, very uncomfortable. So that's what I'm hoping for. All right, talk to you guys later. Bye.